Circuit of the Americas is one of those tracks that I'm quite unfamiliar with, and I want to get better at it. That's why today we're putting down a lap after warming up just a little bit, and then we're gonna analyze that lap with Track Titan. We're gonna see if it helps us to improve on our mistakes that we made earlier, and we're setting down, hopefully, a faster lap. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so here we come to our first flying lap at Circuit of the Americas, or CODA, whatever you like to call it. And it's one of those circuits that I'm so unfamiliar with that I'm pretty terrible at it. So the objective of today's video is to get at least a little better at it. And especially this first section is just something that any normal person would be ashamed of if they drove it like I do. So that's my main objective, to get better at least this section. Because I feel like if you get the flow of this first section into your brain, the rest, yeah, it will just flow nicely, and you'll have a nice time driving around here. But now I feel like I don't know where the brake points are exactly, if I need to brake, if I brake too much, if I brake too little. And all the corners, they seem to come out of nowhere, and that's not really comfortable racing, I would say. So we're just laying down a little lap here to see how well we can drive it without too much prior knowledge. And then we're gonna analyze it a little bit on Track Titan and see if we can actually apply the lessons we've learned from the analysis. And hopefully we see some results immediately, but sometimes it takes a little practice as well. Alright. Trail brake nicely into these corners here. I'm just following the rubbered line here on track. I feel like that's roughly the racing line you need to take. Here I feel like you can't really get on the throttle until the last corner of that, what almost feels like a hexagon there. Alright, and the lap is coming to a close. Let's see what we're doing here. Trail brake nicely into this. Early on the power, and a 211.5. So let's head over to Track Titan, see what we can do better, and see if we can apply it immediately. Alright, so here we are on the Track Titan platform, and as we can see, the third segment is lighting up. That's where we can gain the most time, as I thought already. So let's jump into segment number 1. Alright, so if we look at this section, the first thing we come across is that we're braking just a little bit too early, and we're actually coming closer to the apex than the reference lap, so we might be able to maintain a little more speed if we take a little bit more of a wide angle here. So if we come to segment 3, there where we can gain the most time. And what we actually see here at the racing line is very interesting already, because I feel like the racing line is one of the first things you gotta get right. Is our racing line, the orange one, is sweeping a little bit more from left to right, while the blue reference lap is sticking way more to a center line through all this and taking a wider line through here. So that's what we might need to... If we get the racing line right, maybe the rest will fall into place as well. Ooh, our racing lines are completely different here. I can take a way more shallow line here. The reference lap brakes later, trails off the brakes more. That's something I can do better. And then, oh, look at this. This is just a completely different racing line as well here. We need to take this a lot wider, and let's see when should we on the... Oh, we should brake way earlier actually. So that's a good insight to have. So just full throttle it till the first kink, then let go of it till the second, I would say. Yeah, and then after that, just full throttle it through. So I can take it wider, carry more speed, As we can see, the minimum speed of the reference lap is way higher, which brings him wider onto the curb, which we can do as well. And then the last turn, actually not that far, 2/10 off. Quite a lot, but for me it's not. All right, so moral of the story, these first sections, take a more centered line. Take a more centered line, don't sweep around it so much, and see if we can improve. That's where we can gain some seconds at least. So let's hop back into ACC and see if we can improve immediately, right out of the box. Here we come to our flying lap. After the analysis, and we're gonna try to apply what we've learned from the analysis, just shave off a few seconds. And it can be hard at first, because you're constantly thinking of, I should do this better and I should do this better. So you might be a little less concentrated on driving, because you're thinking about what should I do instead of the actual driving part, but that's all part of the learning process, of course. I don't know if that felt faster. I feel like I jumbled it up a little bit because I was thinking too much of staying in the middle of the road here. But we have everywhere a lot to gain, so we might still come up ahead. And if it's just a second, half a second, that's already progress. And because I know where to look for my mistakes, I can actually start progressing towards a better lap. So that's very nice to have, at least. I feel like I still went a bit wide there, wider here, and on the brakes earlier. That felt a lot slower, actually. Now this part is get off the throttle until here, and then I feel like I'm gonna overshoot it. All right. How did we do? Oh, actually a second faster. So even when you feel like you're doing things wrong, just by knowing where to look for your mistakes, you can actually shave off quite some time. So that's good to know, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out Track Titan and let us know what you want to see in the future. And with that, I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.